Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel. And we're once again going to review, well, not all, but most of the national selections. And seeing as it's Christmas time and Fikmas time, let's review Albania. Guys, excited about Albania this year? Yeah, no?
Not
Yeah,
particularly.
I'm really excited about Albania. I think this edition of FIC is promising, especially with El Dani being the artistic director. I don't know, I always thought that half of FIC's glory comes from actually giving us the songs before, so that when we watch the show, we can be like, oh, yeah, a normal national final experience. I'm really excited for FIC.
I'm glad we
Isaac, you
got the
don't seem
songs.
like.
No, I'm glad we got the songs before the shows were on. But I think last year's quality was a lot higher, to be honest. But that's just my opinion.
Goodness. No, definitely this year. Definitely this year.
I feel like it's going to be like left versus right tonight. But let's see. Let's start with the first song, Alice with Miagul. And you're all going to have to excuse me if I mispronounce any of the names or the song titles. Isaac, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, that's actually one of my favorites. I think it's a good song. It's a strong ballad. He's got a great voice. And it's one of the few songs where I can actually like find myself singing along after I've heard it like once or twice. It's very sort of like James Bond theme feel to it, big band and everything. I don't know if it would stand out that much at Eurovision, but yeah, I think it's one of the best options here, to be honest. It's a good song.
Out of 10?
7.
David?
5.
Sean?
5.
I'll go 5 as well. I think this was only Isaac's favorite, so. All right, let's continue with Klea Dina and Dashurin DA. David?
Yeah, so Klea Dina is the replacement, I believe. She came in a little bit later than all the others, and she's very young. But I think the ballad is really pretty. It's a very standard classic ballad. It's got some pretty high whistle notes we've not heard since Rona Nishliu back in 2012. But thankfully, she's not quite as screamy as Rona was. I think it's a nice little ballad. It grows and develops as you would want it to. Is it a winner? No, but for a debut, good on her. It's good stuff. Good song.
I think we're going to find out during the live shows whether she's screamy or not.
True. There's a lot that could go wrong with that vocal. Let's just leave it at that.
Out of 10, David?
I would give it a 6.
Sean?
5.
I'll give it a 6 as well. David, we agree. This doesn't happen often. Isaac?
4.
Isaac's a strict one here tonight, apparently.
We'll see.
All right, let's continue with Devis Xherahu and Kamomente. And I'm going to take this one. I don't think that I would change the radio station if this song came on, but at the same time, I don't think I would really remember it. There was nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly pleasant, had the right and nice flow, and I would happily listen to it like whilst literally driving my car anywhere. But that's kind of where my story ends. I wouldn't look up the song. I wouldn't really look up who sings it. I wouldn't Shazam it. I wouldn't be interested so much in it. But for like one listen, it's perfectly nice. It's pleasant. But yeah, for me, that's about it. And it's all middle of the road. So for me, this is a 5. Isaac?
It's 6. It's catchy.
David?
I probably would turn the radio over. I'll give it a 3.
All right, Sean?
6.
And he's bottom of our list so far.
Hmm.
Let's see if Santino de Bartolo is going to change anything. Sean?
This is the kind of song that if it came up 4 or 5 years ago, I probably wouldn't like it because I was not as interested as I am these days with the Albanian music scene. However, watching shows like Kënga Magjike, Festivali Këngës across the years, I'm just intrigued by the traditional nature of this kind of ballads. I can also imagine it playing at the, what's it called, the DoubleTree Hotel, where they get old seniors in these press conference rooms dancing to these very melancholic ballads at around 7 p.m. I don't know. It gives me vibes, but not the exact vibes that makes the word vibes a vibe. Do you know what I mean? I like it. Maybe for the wrong reasons, but I like it.
4 out of 10.
4.
With that build-up, I was expecting it to be like an 8 or a 9.
4.
I'll go with 3. Isaac?
5.
David?
I feel like I've been a bit mean, but I'll give it a 2.
You are mean.
Isaac is not the strict one today.
Most definitely not. Not as strict as David.
I've spread them out. I've spread the straws out. It's all good.
All right, the 5th one is going to be Jet or Yet, I'm not sure how they pronounce it, with the song Jal. Isaac, are you going to start us with this one?
Yeah, I think this is one of the most interesting sounding songs. It does a lot of stuff. It kind of builds and it has lots of like layers to it, but I don't actually enjoy the song. I mean, I've listened to all of these songs about 3 or 4 times now, and this one, every time I listen to it, I think, oh, this is interesting, but then I never want to go back to it. And all I remember about it is the chorus. It sounds like he's going on about a jam jar. Not peanut butter, but yeah. It's okay. I don't know. I just wish it was a better melody and something I could actually enjoy going back to. But like I say, at least it does interesting things.
It's I prefer jam to peanut butter, so maybe that's why I like this song quite a lot. For me, it stood out actually. So behind obviously the big favorite, this one probably is my second favorite runner-up. It's got a nostalgic vibe about the song. It sounds familiar. Even when I first heard it, I felt like I'd heard it before, which I don't know if that's a compliment, but I'm going to run with it as a compliment today. I think if he can perform that really well live, then it was maybe giving me kind of Udin Bush Pepper type vibes in 2018. And interested to see whether he can also elevate that live performance like Udin did as well. I just have a feeling this might upset a lot of UA fans, but we'll see. I really like it.
Isaac, out of 10.
6.
David?
8.
Sean?
Now who's been mean?
6.
I'll go with a 6 as well. And if I'm not wrong, we have a new leader. The next one is going to be Orgesa Zaimi with Ipare. And I'll start with song because I sort of have a soft spot for Orgesa because I interviewed her many times before, like in all of her previous FIC entries. And at the same time, I always enjoyed her entries. This one doesn't really reach to the levels of Ngriyezarin that she had quite a few years back. But at the same time, it's so much more fun than her last attempt, which I can't actually pronounce the song title of that one. I love the mixes of different styles in this song and her sort of signature like couple of rap lines in the middle of the song. And I know that she's going to sing this perfectly as she did all of her previous FIC entries as well. And I'm also looking forward to seeing what sort of like out there outfit she's going to come up with this year and how she's going to perform the song. Because I don't know, I really enjoyed it and I look forward to seeing it live as well.
See, the thing about Orgesa Zaimi is, so I didn't listen to any of her past repertoires. I just looked her up on Instagram, and she has a likable personality. She looks like the director of the best childcare center in town. However, in the song, she sounds like she's in a boxing ring. And I'm left wondering, like, where is who is Orgesa Zaimi? So I think the song does give her a bit of like I want to like the song, and I do, but maybe it's not for her. Maybe it's not the most appropriate song for her. And I say that as someone who doesn't really know her repertoire. as much as Ervin maybe. I know you love her. I want to share Ervin's, love, but it's more like a yes but no.
I'll send you some of her previous stuff then
Yes, please.
after we finish with this.
It would be interesting, yeah.
Because I think this is like classic her. And I'm going to give this one an 8. Isaac?
It reminds me of 2012 Norway, 2G Stay. I'm going at 5.
David?
I'm going to give it a 7. And Sean, I'd highly recommend her entry in Festivali Këngës 2017, I think it might have been, with the drum and bass backing. Really good song.
I think that was
Check it out.
Gresa. Yeah.
Is it the one where she's dressed in a suit?
No.
No.
Okay. It's a 6.
6 down and only 24 to go. And currently we have a tie in the lead between Orgesa Zaimi and Jet, whilst Alice is in 3rd place. We're going to continue with Kejsi. What I guess her last name is pronounced Jazxhi, with Kurpota Hesht. David, will you take us through this one?
Yeah, next. No, I don't want to be rude about this song, but it's so ballad by numbers, and I don't mind that. I love a ballad, great, good, and it's what we love and expect from Albania, is a ballad that slightly borders on shouting. Fantastic. What I
Shoutastic.
like a little bit less about this song is honestly her voice. It sounds a little bit like a nail down a chalkboard, and there's just something quite unpleasant about her tone. Yeah, I feel bad saying that because I don't like to make it personal, but yeah, that it just is difficult to listen to, quite frankly, and I'll be quiet before I get hunted down by her fans.
Well, for all her fans, how many points are you giving this one out of 10?
I'll give it a 4.
Sean?
6.
I'm also going to go with a 4. Isaac?
2.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Her fans can go after Isak instead.
Isaac,
Or
look out.
They can come to me and give me some tickets to FIC. I don't know. We can.
Or that. And some banners to support. All right, from one ballad to another, we're going to continue with Nita Latifi and Zemrës. For me, this one just like starts off like a, I don't know, like a very nice ballad. And from the moment that Nita starts singing, you just feel it like this one is going to be like very emotional. And at the same time, like this is not the kind of song that's going to change the world or set the scoreboard on fire or anything like that. But contrary to a couple of other ballads that we have in the competition, like the previous one we just discussed about, that just simply aren't going anywhere, this one I felt like it's actually developing into something. It's at the same time very nicely orchestrated, and I mean, obviously for now we only heard the studio versions, but based on the studio version, I sort of expect her to deliver a nice and strong vocal performance in the live show as well. And for me, it's always an extra plus when they add this like typical FIG guitar solo in the bridge. But think about the whole song, like overall, nothing that much outstanding about it, but again, perfectly nice and enjoyable. So for me, this is another like straight down the middle, so it's a 5. Isaac?
3.
David?
Another 4 for me.
And Sean?
4.
Well,
Isaac's
didn't score
really
more
not
than the previous
vibing.
one.
You're not vibing with these Albanian women ballads.
I'm surprised I'm agreeing with David so much today. We've come a long way from the days of Constanta.
I said nicely at the beginning, it seems like it's going to be a left versus right divide tonight. Sean, start us off with the next one. Vesa Smolica with Lutem.
Oh, Lutem, yes. Strong intro. One of the best intros, I think. Then it kind of goes into a bit of a repetitive wailing rhythm. I don't know. It starts better than it continues, is what I'm trying to say. But I like it. I mean, it's not the typical. It's a bit different than the typical fic entry. It's a bit more modern, and I'm the one who's always championing the typical fic entries. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, if I want to drop a score, it's a 6.
Yeah, I think I would mostly agree with that. Of the various Albanian women in this selection, I think she's got one of the more interesting songs. I don't love it, but at least it actually, like I say, it's interesting. The chorus is quite good, but then it does just sort of loop 3 times. Doesn't really develop, but it's got a good beat. I like the brass. It's not bad. It's one of, like I say, it's one of the better. When you've got so many women in Albania doing the same ballads over and over again, this one does stand out, I think.
I just have to add, this one actually reminds me of the song Lindita Halimi had in FIC 2 years before she actually won. It was Stefal. I don't know if any of you remember it, but listening to this one, like I was just reminded of that. So, Sean, you said 6 if I'm not wrong.
I spoke too early. It's a 6.
That's fine. I'll go 7 for this one. Isaac?
6.
And David?
Also a 6. Strong chorus.
She's only in 3rd place for now. David, Gjergj Kacinari, Largiete Spatu.
I feel like I've been set up by speaking about some of these ones that have been chosen for me. So this guy is very handsome. I will give that to him. I think he clearly has probably quite a charismatic performer. I think the girls in Albania are going to love him, and maybe some of the boys as well. But the song, yeah, it doesn't really go anywhere. He has a dad rock voice for a handsome young face. It just is a mismatch. The song is just not for me. There's nothing objectively bad about it. It's just a bit of a tough listen, honestly. Yeah, I know that you're gonna love this, and it's got nothing to do. So I will pass to you to tell me I'm wrong.
You are definitely wrong. I don't know, like he's also been in FIC quite a few times, and whichever song he sung before as well, it always ended up in my playlist. However, I made the mistake that I never actually looked up any of his other music, so I just listened to his FIC entries, and I realized that like I should actually check out more of his other music as well, because listening to this one, I was invested from the moment it started. The melody of it, especially in the chorus, is quite similar to one of his previous FIC entries, the one that he actually sung in English, Singing in My Head. But there's nothing wrong with it. The song is powerful. Its orchestration is fantastic. I love the arrangement as well. And his, as David would put it, dad rock voice is always very powerful. It's one of my top favorites, and I really hope that he's going to do well. He probably won't win, but I would love to see him in the very top. As I mentioned, like this is one of my personal favorites. So, David, start us off. How many points?
Yeah, I will start from the low. I'll give it 2. Sorry.
I'm going to fire you one of these days. Sean?
7. I like this.
I'm going to give my first 10 of the season.
Wow.
Isaac?
I actually agree with you, Evan. I always love this guy. It's a 7.
Wow.
Sean, we want to take us through the only duet in the competition, Laorjan and Adelina with Atu.
Yeah.
Seem that excited about it though?
No. For some reason, you know, this year they have these visualizers on FIC, and when the artists come out, for some reason when these two came out, I was just like, this is gonna be good. I don't know. There was something about the flick of the hair, maybe. I don't know. But no. It's a bit like a song which merges the typical fic, which is kind of dreary, but sometimes I like it. But this one, it also has a bit of Melfest in it, which is predictable. It kind of merges the dreary of fic and the predictable of Melfest, which are two elements that I wish to see extinguished from the respective national finals one day. Yeah, we're not doing 0.5s, are we?
No.
Okay, then I'll drop my score later.
How about now?
Okay, 4.
4 for me as well. Isaac?
4 for me as well.
David?
Full house of 4s. Yeah, I'll give it a
Wow.
4 as well.
Wow. They still beat Santino de Bartolo.
As it should.
Gresa Gjocera is up next with Verteta. Isaac, what do you think about this one?
It's not bad. It's not bad. I genuinely don't have that much to say about this one. It is just another ballad. It's pleasant. Pleasant was the key word I thought when I heard this. It's pleasant. It's not bad. She sings it quite well, but it's just not going to stand out. I could, you copy and paste what I've said about this about many of the other ones. Yeah. But having said that, I still think it's one of the better women in this selection. I don't know. There just seems to be this divide in Albania where all the men go with like different types of genres, often rock, but there's a variety. Whereas with the women in the Albania selection, it does tend to be you get about 14 of these ballads, and it's quite hard to distinguish them after time. And this just sort of goes into the middle for me.
See, when I was listening to this, I just felt like this is a continuation of Vesa's Titan. And that's the only thing I remember about it, to be honest. Anyways, out of 10, Isaac?
6.
David?
6.
Sean?
3.
I'll go with a 5. One time, Sean being the strictest one of all.
It actually reminded me of Vesa's Titan as well. And the
Okay.
minute I got that thing in my head, I'm like, we cannot be going there ever again.
Nope.
Albania, do something.
Lorenc Hasrama is up next with what I think is pronounced Frima. David?
Yeah, I like this one. I think the guys' ballads this year are a lot better on average than the females. If we take the dodgy dad rock ones out that I don't want to listen to again in full. This one's definitely not that though. It's fun. It feels authentic. He's got a really good voice, and it has a bit of a. I say it's a ballad, but it kind of does kick off into that kind of mid-tempo zone quite a bit as well. So maybe calling it a ballad is harsh. Looking forward to seeing him on stage. I think it's going to be good. I have high hopes. Yeah, I like it. How about you, Isaac? Sure. Sorry.
When you said Isaac, I was like, I'm relieved because I don't remember it. But I wrote down.
I read the wrong
on my
row. I
notes.
read the wrong row.
On my notes, I wrote down not bad. But I remember his voice. Yeah.
Beautiful gowns.
Yeah. Not bad, nice voice. Isaac, do something here, please.
I also have nothing to say.
Does no one else remember this song apart from David and probably myself?
I'm probably like, if I listen to it, I'm gonna be like, oh, that one, and I will like it. But come on, there are just so many of them. There are just
True.
and it actually doesn't do any favors to some potentially good songs. So hi Dani, if you're watching this next year, 15. We're good at 15. 30, I don't know.
I remember that this one had like a decently, like a nice amount of drama in it, and we also had some hints of like soft traditional Balkan music. So I do remember that about this song, and that this kind of sounded like vocally challenging. So I don't know how it's gonna sound live because I don't think I ever heard Lorenc Hasrama before. I don't think he has been in FIC like in the years that I followed. So I don't know, but for me this was like a very pleasant surprise. David.
We should do that. Yeah, I'll give it a 7, but we should do that more often and just throw the ball to someone at random to see how fast they scramble. 7.
Sean, out of 10?
6.
I'll go 8. Isaac?
5.
we seem to be unable to pass this 26-point mark as we have a four-way tie for first, with Gjergj Kacinari currently in the lead after the tiebreak. Now let's continue with our 14th act, which is Martina Serreqi with Nesse Chai. Isaac, what did you think about this one?
Again, I don't love it. It's nice, but it's just so background music. I can't imagine this working well on a stage at all. It's the kind of thing I would hear like in a cafe and think, oh, that's quite nice, but it's just not made to be performed. I don't think. I can't see anything they could do on the stage that would make this like remotely interesting to watch. It's just a nice little background number, but it's not made for Eurovision, in my opinion.
I mean, I did enjoy this one because I liked the strings that complemented the melody, like from the very beginning, and I sort of felt like, I don't know, it was giving me a sort of breezy, springy, summery sort of feel. And when I was listening to it, like, I don't know, like I was jamming along to it in a way, and it sounded like a very sort of like classy entry, and I do hope to see like an equally classy performance on stage as well. Maybe like, I don't know, with like a dancing couple or something in the background. And I feel like if they go like very minimalistic but classy and effective, that's going to be like the right approach for them, and that they could do well. You weren't as impressed, Isaac. So out of 10,
4.
4. David,
Another 4 for me.
Sean,
6.
I'll go 8.
She was in it last year, wasn't she?
I don't actually remember her.
I think she was, and I remember, well, I thought she was at least, and I
Mhm.
thought, oh, this entry was much better than last year. But watch it be from like 2 years ago.
Sean, take us through the next one then. Rea Nuhu with Sot.
Ay, 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 ay.
You don't remember this one either?
I do, for all the wrong reasons.
Oh
This is
God.
lounge music. This is lounge music. Come on, this is lounge music. When I go to a spa, which I don't very often, I would perhaps enjoy a song like this because I'm not supposed to be thinking about the music when I'm there. I'm supposed to be thinking about nothing. And this is exactly the song that makes me think about nothing,
Mhm.
much least the song. Sorry. No. No. No.
That was 3 no's. Is that 3 points or?
Exactly what it is. 3.
For me, it's a 4. Isaac,
3.
David,
I gave it a 4, but if that came on in the elevator I was in, I'd probably get out the elevator.
well, Santino de Bartolo is no longer alone on the bottom of the scoreboard. Rea Nuhu joins Santino. And we're going to proceed with Endrik Beba with Ishati. And I'll take this one then, because this sort of music was, I feel like, popular in the region, like in the whole of the Balkans, maybe about like 10 years ago. And this probably would have done well in some sort of like a local festival back then, but for 2024, it's a little bit outdated. And like the contest, Eurovision especially, but I believe FIC has evolved as well a little bit from 10 years ago. And should this somehow miraculously win, like this would completely be out of place in Switzerland, in my opinion. There's not that much wrong with it. It's a decent enough pop rock tune, but I don't know. It just doesn't really do much. I do really enjoy though his like the lead vocals, smoky vocal, and I'll give an extra point once again for the fig guitar solo before the final chorus. So for me, that's gonna bring it up to 5. Isaac,
Yeah, 5 as well.
David,
Another 4.
Sean,
5.
19 for Endrik. David, ready for Luna Causholli with Kiel Apofer, I believe.
Yes, I have to admit, the first time I heard this song, I hated it. Like, actually hated it. Didn't like her voice at all. Thought the whole thing was really just as close to an Albanian version of Love Is Forever that you could probably get. It was just a bit cutesy and just icky. But I listened to it a second time, and I don't know why, but I don't know. I just have an affinity towards it now. So maybe I like icky music. She's like a happy hippie kind of Lana Del Rey. Really liked it. Really, really did like it. It's not something I want to win by any stretch, but it's something that I will happily listen to when I'm working or when I'm trying to chill out in the evening. Really liked it. And I watched her Kenja. She was also in Kenja Majik this year. And her song there was better. It was a bit more lively. But no, she's a good performer. So looking forward to seeing this one in full on stage. I liked it. How about you, Isaac?
I would just take the first half of what you said and then stop. I don't like it. It's like you say, it's so like sweet and trying to be all lovey-dovey, and it's just, what's the point? I mean, come on, we're looking for like decent songs that can make it to Eurovision and make an impact, and this is so just doing this little thing, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I have to admit, I do remember how it goes, which is more than can be said about quite a few. So I guess that's at least a good thing. But no, it's too lovey-dovey and again, background music, in my opinion.
David, after the second listen, how many points?
Yeah, I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm giving it a 7.
Sean?
3.
3?
3.
I'm with Sean on this one. I'm not a hopeless romantic, and I stopped after the first listen as well. Isaac?
3.
Wow.
Well,
my favorite thing about doing these with Sean is that his eyes don't lie. It's just full of shade at all times. The second he disagrees with you, he's like, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, when you said Love Is Forever, I'm like, oh my God, yes. And that's where it stops for me.
no offense to anyone, I forgot that song ever existed.
I envy you, Irvin. I envy you.
Erma Mici is up next with Mbaeb. Sean?
I feel like the competition has started now. What song is this? 18? Song number 18. We've kicked off the competition. I remember her from Festivali Këngës 2 years ago, I think. She had a song called Kosmosi Dashuri, along those lines. And I was hoping she would come back one day, and here we are. And I think her song 2 years ago was a bit stronger than this. Yeah, I do think so. But this is very competitive. Is it gonna win? Probably not. And would it do anything at Eurovision? Maybe not. But I like it. I like that she comes with a lot of what's the word in English for grinta? Power, maybe, I don't know. She comes with a lot of power, and it's not power and everywhere. It's power directed. Her voice is powerful and hits the right spots. I love it.
I also love the power in her voice, and I actually disagree because I like this a lot more than I liked Kosmosi Dashuri. The song is, for me, quite strong. The orchestration of it is phenomenal, but it's her voice what carries this entire song to a whole new level for me. And especially like parts when you hear her song being on like the verge of breaking during the higher parts, but still keep strong. For me, that's like just amazing. I doubt that she's going to win, but should she win, I do hope that the song is going to go through a revamp and that it would get like additional boost and oomph as it definitely needs it. But for me, regardless, this is one of the strongest entries in this year's Festivali Këngës. Out of 10, Sean?
7.
I'll go with a 9. Isaac?
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you said, Irvin. 8.
David?
Yeah, it's not as good as her one 2 years ago where she won the debut award, but love it and love her voice. I give it a 7.
And she's taking the lead. We're going to continue with Kleansa Susaj with Tedia. Isaac?
Yeah, I liked her song last year as well. and I like this song too. Yeah, I think her song last year was a bit stronger. Again, it's there's only so many words to describe songs in the world. It is another Albanian ballad, but I think this is pretty good. It might not be reflected in my score because there are others I prefer, but I think she especially should keep coming back, and because both, it's quite rare that I like someone in Albania more than once, and she sent 2 songs in a row, and both of them I've saved. I enjoy. Yeah, it's a good song, good melody, good chorus. Not much more to say.
How about the points?
It's a harsh 6.
David?
5.
Sean?
6.
I'll go 4. Let's take a look at our top 5. Erma Mici is currently in the lead with 31 points, and she's followed by 4 artists who are all tied for second place with 26. Djemte Detit are next with large. David?
Yeah, Djemte Detit. Well, you know, I don't like dad rock. I don't like when there's one Albanian singer doing a dad rock song on a stage. And what they've got 4, they got 5. I don't know. Either way, it's 4 or 5 too many for me. Really not my cup of tea at all, and I am impartial to a cup of tea. But not this one. It really, really, really. This is, oh God. It's always a struggle to get through 10 to 15 songs in a festival of Congress because they sound like this. Yeah, not for me at all, I'm afraid. Painful.
Out of 10?
3. And even that's generous.
Sean?
7.
I'll go 4. Isaac?
They literally sound awful. It's a 1.
Oh, wow.
Sean's trolling. I don't.
I don't know. There was something about it that caught my attention, and I liked it.
Well, Sean, you saved this from last place.
Listen, you might want to edit this out. I might have confused them with someone else. Like now you're making me doubt.
It's staying as it is.
It's not fun if it's not staying as it is.
Your reputation is in tatters.
Listen, my reputation died when I talked about Loreen the way I did. So
10 more to go. Ardit Cuni is next with Amane. For me, this is probably the most up-to-date song in this year's Festivali Këngës. The beats are amazing, and I also love the slightly like Turkish influence in the music. And the whole thing sounds like it can be literally played in the radio anywhere. I expect an amazing performance from Ardit, with lots of dancers, as much as that's normally like out of place for FIC, but I hope they go for it. And the fun fact is that he was the head of press for Albania in 2022. So it would be very interesting to see him now back in Eurovision in like a completely different role as the lead artist. And even though he's like not maybe the top favorite, I think he's gonna be very much up there for the win.
yes. I feel like this is one of the songs that FIC needs to kind of keep itself, or maybe throw itself into the days of modern music, and also to have hits in the Albanian Spotify charts. I like it. It does give me Turkish vibes as well. It reminds me of when I went to Albania. This is gonna be so. Who cares? But I remember one morning we just went to get these burek like things. I don't know what they're called, and there was like a car playing this music really loudly, and I swear it was a demo of this song. Yeah, I like it. It's a bit messy, but I like it.
I'm gonna start this off with a 9. Isaac?
5.
David?
7.
Sean?
Isaac. 8.
As you can see, this put Ardit Cuni in second place, only 2 points behind Erma Mici. We have 9 songs left to go, so let's dive straight into Stine with Eki Shimnitz. Isaac?
So, as I say, I've listened to all these songs quite a few times. On first listen, this was potentially my favorite. It's such a me song. It's just catchy. It's got all the sort of sounds I like. It's it doesn't reinvent the wheel, but I really like it. The problem is, now that I've heard it a few more times, it's very simple. It's very basic. It's not layered at all. I listened to it a few more times trying to find new things to enjoy about it, but it is quite simplistic. And for that reason, it was my first, maybe second. It's gone down quite a bit now. But like I say, at Eurovision, you're only going to hear songs the first time. You're only going to hear the songs once. So maybe that's a good thing.
This is the opposite reaction to David with Luna.
Yeah, well, on this one, I've only heard it once, and it went straight towards the bottom of the pile. Yeah, you said it's not layered, right? And it kind of felt a bit empty. It felt basic. It felt loungy. It felt elevatory. Everything I don't want in a Eurovision entry. Yeah, at least he tried to make it a bit more modern than some of the other ballads. So I'll give him a point for that. But yeah, no, not for me, I'm afraid.
Out of 10, Isaac.
7.
David?
3.
Sean?
6.
For me, 4. And Sean, Algert Sala with Bosch. You're up.
I liked this a lot. This was one of the songs I listened to the last, I think. Maybe that's why I remember it. No, it's good. It's good. He has a great voice. I like these. For some reason, I'm not sure where I'm going with this comparison. He reminds me a little bit of Gjergj Kacinari. Yeah, he reminds me a bit of Gjergj Kacinari. I really liked it. I have nothing negative to say. It's not pretentious, I feel. It's just there doing what it needs to. Whether he comes first or last, I feel like he's going to sleep on the night of the final of FIC. And I like that in an artist. Yeah, pretty good.
Out of 10?
7.
I'll go one less, 6. Isaac?
I'll go one less, 5.
And David?
2 more. I'll go for 7.
Oh, wow. Well, we got to the winner of last year's contest, Mal with Antihero. Isaac, what did you think about this one?
This guy, when he was in it last year, when I first saw him on stage, I thought, this is too much. This is cringy, and I wasn't sure how to feel. But after the selection last year, his song was the one I went back to the most. I kept playing it, and I think it's really good. Then when I saw he was coming back this year, I was excited, and now that I've heard it, I feel almost the same way again. It's cringy watching him because he's so sort of out there, and I don't know, it doesn't seem very self-aware, but he's such a big personality, and I think this song is fantastic. This is my personal favorite in Albania this year. It does so much. It stands out from everything else in Albania. And yeah, I don't know why the mix sounds so bad though. It sounds like it hasn't been mixed properly. Like it's just sort of, the noise level isn't right. I don't know. But yeah, I think this is really good. Great melody, great instrumentation, and it's very much a guilty pleasure. I don't usually like using that term because you shouldn't feel guilty about what you like, but I'm definitely not proud about liking this one.
And you're absolutely going to hate me about my opinion on this one because, first of all, I was very surprised when he won last year. I did not see that coming. Also true. And I think I'll be even more surprised if he wins again this year. Because for me, this entire song sounded like something like, I don't know, like an opening theme of like an anime or a manga, which I don't normally watch. And I cannot see this song in any sort of competitive setting. But I don't know, if he won last year with that song, then like I don't know, why would he be in the mix to win with this one? But it just most definitely not for me.
Can I just say something? I completely agree with everything Isaac said.
Oh God.
Yeah, last year, obviously I wasn't feeling it, but then that song is like my 7th or 8th most played of the year. I love it. And I was really excited to see what he's gonna come up with this year. It feels like he's trying to emulate the same formula, and for that reason, I don't think he's gonna make it anywhere near the top. Because if the Festivali Këngës jury, is consistent, one of them said last year that they didn't rank El Salila anywhere because her song was a copy and paste of the one that won. So, if anything, Mal should not be anywhere near the top this year because I do think that it's pretty much the same formula but worse. But I have to admit, I still like it, and he does have big personality, yeah.
I mean, different jury members might think differently, but
Maybe.
we'll see on the night. I'm afraid to ask, but out of 10, Isaac,
It's an 8.
David,
We are officially in the twilight zone. I am giving it a 6.
Sean,
It's an 8.
it's a 3.
I have to admit, though, I have been waiting all year to hear him roar on that stage once again.
Oh,
So
dear.
I'm kind of excited to see his performance. I think it's going to be fun.
Who is Frensi Revania?
Frensi Revania. Well, David's going to remind us. Reziko.
So this one, where do I start with Frensi? I don't 100% remember her song, but I remember that I like it. So unfortunately, it's not one that has maybe stuck with me, but it's one that I've listened to once or maybe twice and thought that was quite decent. From memory, I think it's not just a ballad. I think it's a bit more up tempo. It's a bit more of a disco-y type song.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit Juliana Pasha, 2010 maybe. It's not quite modern, but it's not dated in a horrid ballad kind of way. So it's a bit of fun. I don't think it's going to be competitive, but I think it's maybe one that might open the final, perhaps. Just a bit of an up-tempo party type song if it gets there, which it should because it's obviously one of the best songs. Yeah, I wish it was a bit more memorable because I have no idea what I'm talking about right now, but I think I like it.
I also just remember that it had some life in it, and I remember that the song ends with Reziko. Out of 10 then, David.
I'll give it a 7. I was blown away.
Okay. Sean?
5.
I'll go 5 as well. Isaac?
Yeah, I'll go 5.
Next up is one of the fan favorites, Shkodra Elektronike with Djemte. Isaac?
So yeah, unlike what I've said about some of the other ones, I think this one does get better the more you listen to it. It's quite a layered song, and it's really interesting. I think this would be probably the most interesting pick for Albania of the ones that I think have any chance of actually being selected. Yeah, it's almost sort of tribal, like especially the second verse when the guy comes in and the bass. It definitely stands out from the bunch of Albanian songs we've got. Yeah, I think this is pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. Have they been in Festivali Këngës before?
I don't remember them.
No.
So they haven't.
I absolutely love this. I didn't check out I wasn't checking in for them, but when I listened to the song, this could do things in an Albina Kelmendi and her family kind of way. Sort of, Fic 61, I think, when Fifi was before we listened to the song, everyone was like Fifi, 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 and then we heard the song and we're like, okay, she's pregnant, but what else? And then we heard Albina and Familja Kelmendi, and they completely ran away with it. I don't think it's gonna happen, but this one, if it happened, I could see this completely toppling the big fan favorite, which I think we're gonna talk about soon.
Shkodra Elektronike. Isaac, out of 10.
This was a hard one to score, but I'm going to go 7.
David?
Yeah, this one's really fresh and really cool. I'll give it an 8.
Sean?
9.
I'll go with an 8.
This has to be our winner right now.
It is indeed. Shkodra Elektronike are 1 point ahead of Erma Mici, who is currently in 2nd place, and Ardit Cuni is right now in 3rd. We only have 4 acts left to discuss, so let's continue with Mihallaq Andrea and Porosite Babait. For me, this is the type of entry that we're gonna listen to in almost every single edition of Festivali Këngës, and for me personally, this is the kind of thing that I come back to in Festivali Këngës. It's sort of a little bit like nostalgic sounding, performed by like a veteran singer. There's always at least like one of those. And in a way, I feel like he's going to be more like storytelling, and that he's going to perform this with a lot of passion. I enjoy it, but I would not send this to Eurovision whatsoever. Also, I probably wouldn't listen to this outside of Festivali Këngës on the night, but Festivali Këngës would not be the same for me if we didn't have this type of entry in the competition. So I'm happy it's there.
I get that. Diversity is good. We love an old person, put them on a stage, give them their kind of dream performance at that kind of golden age. Yeah, I get it from a diversity sake, but at the same time, it's a long 3 minutes, and it's going to be a long 3 minutes during the semi-finals and probably the final as well. But I think you'd be lying if anyone thought they were voting for this for anything other than sentimental value, or you love your grandparents. Like, I love my grandparents, but let's just not entertain these grandparents singing. Yeah, I give it a 2.
Oh, damn. Sean?
I like it. I'm giving it a 6.
I'm giving it a 6 as well. And Isaac?
1.
Oh, damn.
Come on. Nothing to say about this guy?
No changes in our top 5 currently, and we only have 3 acts left. We continue with Ronaldo Mesuli with Nazemer. Isaac?
This is just the definition of filler. It's so forgettable. Honestly, I remember his name more than I remember the song. It does absolutely nothing. His voice is okay, but what's the point of sending a song that just meanders? I mean, it's a little bit more up-tempo than some of the dreary ballads we've got, but honestly, I don't see the point. I don't have much more to say.
Scored it out of 10.
It's a 4.
David?
It's a 4.
Sean?
It's an 8. And this is amazing. What are you people talking about? Ervin, please put some sense.
I mean, I gave him an extra point because in part, it reminded me of Zjareftocht from 2006. So I gave it a 5. Sorry, Sean.
Ronaldo. This
What?
guy.
Sorry, Ronaldo, but Sean is going to support you at least. Of the 4 of us.
I'll wave your flag, Ronaldo. I'll wave your flag.
Are you going to wave Elvana's flag as well with Carnaval? What do you think?
Absolutely. Okay. First of all, I want to get this out of the way. A lot of people are comparing her to Jennifer Lopez of Albania, and I think she's actually so much better than Jennifer Lopez. I mean, she can sell out an arena, Elvana, not Jennifer Lopez. I like this.
Jennifer
Obviously,
Lopez can as well.
not recently.
Fair enough.
I like this, of course. She was the big fan favorite coming into this. And when the songs came out, immediately, this was the first one I listened to. I was not disappointed. I will say I was expecting something a bit more Albanian, as opposed to a very catchy, but undeniably, I mean, this is a World Cup theme song. It's good. It's really good, and I think that it can do a lot at Eurovision. I think the stage performance will have to match up to the hype that she's bringing into this. And come on, this has to win. I mean, she's not pregnant. Yes, this this has to win, and I will say, on the Jennifer Lopez kind of comparisons, maybe the Democrats in America would have a better chance at winning if they invited Elvana to their mass rallies than Jennifer Lopez.
So before I speak about Ivana, I just have to defend Jennifer Lopez here because her speech at the Democrat Party was absolutely incredible, and she should be president-elect right now because that speech changed lives. Okay, if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
I'm gonna quote Leonora here because you reminded me of her previously. Don't get too political, David.
It's not political. I don't care about the Democrats or the. Well, okay, cut this out. I do obviously care to some extent, but not about Jennifer Lopez's political. What a dream she is. Michelle Obama, who? Right, Elvana. So if I move on to Elvana, the one thing I will say is that when I first heard this song, everyone knows how much I love Matana. I think she is probably the most exciting pop star in Albania, following their music over the years. And I actually like a lot of her songs. I was surprised by this entry. I don't know how to put that into words. It wasn't as amazing, incredible on the first listen as I was anticipating. But having said that, there's not many performers in each country that really get you excited. And I love it when the biggest names and the biggest artists that can put on the biggest shows and the biggest performances want to do Eurovision, want to represent their country. Someone like Noah Carell, someone like Loreen, someone like Engelbert Humperdinck, somebody that can really set the world on fire. And she'll do that with this song. This song is a masterpiece in its own right. I am really, really worried that she's not going to win. Last time she lost because the juror voted her down for not sounding Albanian enough. And to Sean's point, this is way further non-Albanian sounding than her first one. But look, I just spent a month out in South America. I have the vibes of carnival running through my veins, and I have had this on repeat for 2 weeks. And she better win because it's the only thing that can convince me to come to Basel next year. So let's go, Elvana.
Yeah, I feel that this is going to be more about the show rather than the song. And I think that like 15 years ago, I would have liked this a lot more than I do now. Anyways, out of 10, David.
You're grumpy. You're grumpy. I will give this a 10.
Oh, wow.
I give this a 9.
I'll give this a 6. Isaac?
Yeah, it's so right. It's a 6.
I think he said it was a 10.
Nah, he did not.
Did you say it's overrated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last but not least, we have Epos with Curaio de Zherahu. Even though David would probably say that this is more my style of music because it's a little bit sort of like dad rock, I guess. For me, this feels a little bit like unfinished and a little bit amateur. I'm sorry. The music itself is pretty good, but it just somehow just, I don't know, doesn't go anywhere. It's definitely missing something. I don't know whether it's with the orchestration of it, the arrangements, or just, I don't know. There's just something missing. Definitely a letdown for me because I normally enjoy the rocky entries quite a bit. But yeah, I don't know. This is just nowhere near as strong as some of the other rock songs that we got in FIG this year, especially not throughout like past years. And I'm not actually sure whether Epos is a new artist or an established one, but if it's a new artist, then I wouldn't be surprised if we don't actually see this in the final either. And with that said, I'm going to give this one a 4. Isaac?
6.
David?
Of course, the big fan of rock and roll slates the one rock song in this contest that I actually don't mind. I'm giving it a 5.
Sean?
5.
And Epos ends with 20 points, which means that the winner of the four of us is Shkodra Elektronike with 32 points. In second place, we have a tie between Elvana Gjata and Erma Mici, who were just 1 point behind. In fourth place, we have Ardit Cuni, and Gjergj Kacinari completes our top five. We've gone through all of them. Who are you guys most excited about seeing on stage if you have to pick just one artist?
Just one.
Yeah.
Elvana. But I can see, like I said, I can see a scenario where someone topples her over.
I can actually see quite a few acts giving her a good run for her money, especially because I feel that Elvana is going to have to rely a lot on the stage performance. And whether the juries are going to go for that or not, I'm not sure. The public definitely will. But again, we still don't know in what percentage the public vote is going to count. If this was the same as in the past years, that it's 100% televoting, it would be hands down Elvana Gjata. But with the juries having a big say as well, I think she could be in trouble. And of all of them, actually, I'm most excited to see what Ardit is going to do on stage.
Look, I think they want Elvana to win because they're allowing international people to vote for the first time, right? You can vote with any vote phone number. So Sean, get those votes in for our girl because I will be, yeah. Having said that, I know she's going to come on stage and serve. So the act I'm actually most excited about is probably Shkodra Elektronike, because I have no idea what to expect. The song's really good, but it could be a mess on stage. It could be incredible on stage. I have no idea. So I'm actually quite excited to watch them in the first semi-final, I think. It'll be good.
Yeah, I'm most excited for Mao. I don't think that's a big surprise.
I don't think that's a big surprise either, to be honest.
I am actually really excited to see Mal as well. Like a part of me believes that it's going to be a Blanca scenario, whereas the first time we saw him, complete disaster. The second time, actually pretty good. But you never know. This guy.
Where do we start with this guy?
I just don't. I'd much rather go back to talking about Gjergj Kacinari's song, to be honest. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. All of you out there, let us know who your personal favorites are and which songs do you like, which ones you dislike, and whether you agree, whether you disagree with any of our thoughts and opinions. Let us know in the comment section below. And also subscribe to our channel to be completely up to date with all of our upcoming videos, as we're going to be reviewing other national selections as well. But also there's going to be a lot of national final interviews coming up, as well as with some chosen Eurovision artists. We already had the interview with the Czech entrant, so go and check it out. And we're going to see you very soon. Bye, guys, and have a Merry Fickmas.
Merry Fickmas.